At this point, there are more action cameras on the market than we can even keep up with. And you might be like me, wondering which of them is actually best for me. Do you go 360, do you go POV, or do you go action cam? Today is the ultimate shootout to show you the pros and definitely the cons of each form factor. By the end of this video, you'll know which one is right for you, which one's not. Well, I've got about 5 different action cameras and 5 days here in Malta to test them out. Let's see which one is best for you. Right now we're making our way into position for what will surely be a life or death situation. Today's camera market can get a little confusing. I mean, you got the chicken head guy, you got the indestructible cube, and you got Mike Wazowski. So you gotta ask yourself, with all these different options, which tool are you actually after? And so we're gonna be putting these guys against each other, and let's face it, there's no best camera here. Each of these cameras will stand out in their own specific ways and their own specific moments. But right now, we've got a very interesting moment to test it all out. We're going down a mountain with a rope. Let's see how it goes.
I will keep you safe with this one, and I will hold you so you can do the photographing.
I feel so safe, thank you.
Very good.
When Per said he'd hold me, I knew I was all right. I'm already gonna say it. It's not that you can't use this one, but this one's gonna be a liability in an environment like this. Gimbals like this won't do well if it gets bumped or bruised, and it's kind of meant for handed operations. You can clip it, there are ways to use this, but I'm gonna probably say this one's losing this round. Now, GoPros, you already know, these guys could probably be dropped from this cliff and be just fine. You can either mount it to your head, your chest. If you don't have a helmet mounting mechanism, you're probably gonna end up with a shot like this, which, I don't know. The nostril shot's always a popular one, but...
Oh my God.
You all right?
And now you turn, go back.
And what's the word if I want to stop?
Stop.
Take.
I think we can use stop.
Okay, I like that word. Strong word. Are you coming down with me?
I come down with you to the edge.
That's the full service, okay.
It's the full service. This looks very good.
Yeah, it
looks very good.
Doesn't feel good, but it is good. Sayonara.
I think that's the most important when you're filming, and it looks good. We don't care about your feelings.
That's it, man. It's just about the shot. Okay, leaning back. It's starting to go inverted. Did you know that? Per, have you seen this cliff?
I still want you to be very comfortable and happy, you know.
As we go down, the 360 can adjust to basically whatever I want. If I want to show this moment in more of a linear fashion, bringing you into the moment, you can kind of create an action camera look. If you want to create something more stylistic and creative, like the tiny planet effect, well, in the editing software, you can do that. But the GoPro, although a good image, you're stuck to one angle, one shot. Now, this sort of activity is for the most part hands-free, but in reality, unless you're really good at this, you want your hands, at least one of them, to be supporting your dear life. With the 360 camera, I can be totally hands-free and know that whether I'm looking this way, whether I'm twisting around here on this cliffside, odds are pretty good I got the shot. And if I didn't, in the post-production side of things, I can handle it. The stability, even shaking around up here, looks really good. And on the GoPro too, it's gotten really good, but you've only got one shot choice. And it's right now looking uptight and a little too personal. All right, ready? Oh, don't hit the cliff. Oh God, my arm. Now, I don't want to be totally unfair to the GoPro. Normally, I have a DSLR, a mirrorless camera hanging off the side of the cliff with me as I go through my life. And when you have just one shot to capture, usually a master of one is better than a master of all in that one shot. But you can decide for yourself how you feel the image quality compares on this one set perspective versus this perspective here. Getting in a little bit tighter and trying to remove some of the warping and the distortions from the 360 camera. Whew, thank you, Per. Now, the goal of this video is not to be the most comprehensive side-by-side of pixel peeping and image quality, but I'm gonna give you a quick sample here of what you get with the standard color profiles side-by-sided. Now, the 360 camera can also play to the same game as the GoPro. I've just switched it over to single lens shooting. They both are using their incredible in-body stabilization, and I have set them both to their standard color profiles. My guess is the GoPro will probably have an edge here, but what I like so much about the Insta360 is that I have the luxury of choice. I can play to the one lens game, but I can also play a full 360 game, which in moments like this, high action, solo shooting, capturing yourself in the middle of an action scene without a dedicated videographer, GoPro does POV. Insta360 does POV and allows you to film yourself like an orb or a fairy following you around. Now, both the Insta360 and the GoPro have different fields of view. You can go ultra wide, where you're gonna start bowing your corners. It gets a little bit less realistic. And then you've also got more of a linear perspective, like I've just set now, giving you more of a real to life sort of feeling and less of a warped perspective. And as I'm walking down this terrain, feel free to decide how it's doing on stabilization. Now, there's one other camera to consider in all of this race for the best action camera. And this one here is something pretty special. It's an incredible camera strapped to a gimbal, and it gives you this rotating LCD screen to see the action. Now, if I triple tap this button, it should spin around, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit record. All right, now I've got 3 different angles, and I will already say that I'm thinking that the image quality pound for pound is probably sharpest on this Pocket 3. Looking at it here, it's a totally different image. It's a lot tighter. This guy, probably not gonna be bringing him down the mountain with me, but in between moments of action, this is pretty cool. If you're trying to focus on you as a center stage, I mean, this looks pretty clean from what I can see on a little screen. I'm just gonna go ahead, put out all of these side by sided, do a little bit of a straight hold arm. I'm gonna hold my arms out, and you can let me know which of these images you think is standing out most. But my first observations is that the Osmo Pocket, this guy here, it's kind of hard to compare it. It actually is not the same image at all. I don't even know if this is considered an action camera anymore. This one here feels more like a traditional camera, like a little pocket shooter. Maybe that's why they called it the Pocket. I don't know how the active stabilization on this compares to the built-in stabilization on these ones. The best way to find out is to test on some pretty rough terrain where I may fall. I try to film my feet and moving up. When you're in the action of it all, it's actually hard to stay in the center frame with the Pocket. I'm constantly moving about, but the gimbal's at least keeping the image really nice and stable. I'm already seeing notifications. Gimbal has reached its maximum, so I'm kind of overusing it here in this environment. What I would say from just using these cameras really quickly, these two are truly meant for an adventurous life on the road. This one feels like it takes a little bit more care, control, and intentional use. Like anything, different tools for different moments, but the all-arounder is still gonna have to go to the one that I can bring with me everywhere at every moment. Right now, that award is definitely going to Insta360. Let's go!
After being in the mountains, being supported by ropes and Pierre, it was time to head to the ocean for an adventure on the seas.
All of us are loading up here onto the pirate ship. So let's head over, let's run it.
There's a bar on the boat. Happy birthday!
When it comes to being on the boat, all 3 cameras performed fairly well, similar to abseiling, but then came the water. This was another obvious L for the DJI Pocket 3. So you already know, this is where the action camera cubes thrive. From GoPro to DJI's Osmo Action and Insta360's Ace Pro 2. The most convenient way to shoot underwater is with the action camera form factor. But I can only give the X5 a half point because while it is waterproof, you need an underwater housing to get a good image. And that underwater housing is sold separately. Okay, one thing I wanted to add, Christian from the future here, this camera actually can shoot underwater without housing. You just need to switch it to single lens shooting mode. Basically, it's a limitation of any 360 camera. You can't shoot without a housing, but in single lens shooting mode, you're totally fine. And you don't need a housing.
And now we have entered into Mdina, which is actually the former capital of Malta. Wow, it's like being transported into the olden days Europe here, inside the castle walls, inside a fortress. I mean, looks like something out of Game of Thrones here.
And would you look at that? Turns out it actually was where Game of Thrones was filmed.
Look at this, so pretty. This thing does a lot of things that a normal camera can't do, but it also does some things not as well as a normal camera can. And it leaves people wondering, do I really need to invest in a 360 camera? The only thing I'm missing now is the belt. Wow. I mean, come on. This is what you'd call a 360 set. I mean,
Insane. Now, overall, the onboard audio experience is actually pretty good. Inside this tiny little body, you've got 4 microphones. You actually don't need to plug in a microphone, but there's a whole lot of other accessories that allow you to plug in, from the Insta360 lav mic to the ability to plug in a microphone with a cold shoe. Wow. Something that's pretty awesome about the Insta360 is that you can actually hoist it up on a selfie pole, and all of a sudden, it's like having a drone, but without the complexity or legal problems that come with flying a drone. And because the stabilization is just so good in body, you can literally walk around the town and get amazing time-lapse shots, even when it's bouncing around on the pole. Now, one of the other cool things that this guy can do that I don't think any other camera can do is this. This is bullet time. Bullet time is where you become a main character and you have the 360 orbiting around you, and the result is just incredible.
Why did you move to Malta?
Sunshine, English speaking, great work opportunities. Good growing economy for the media businesses around here, and the creator world is very, very blossoming. It's still quite new here.
Interesting.
Some really good opportunities.
Not for the video, but I scratched the lens. Did I mess it up too badly? How are we doing now? It was a very dumb idea. Do not put your 360 camera on concrete. So the downfall of a 360 camera is that the way the lenses come off the side, it makes them more vulnerable to aggressive attacks by me.
Scratch it all.
Come on, give it a good hit it with something. Sophie, you wanna come smash it? Go. The earliest Insta360 cameras, this moment was a deadly blow because it was the moment you needed to buy a new camera. The downside is, this is still a problem. These lenses still get scratched. And once they do, well, you can see for yourself, it's not looking as good as it was before. But the good news is, there's a solution now, and it's not buying a new camera. It actually has replaceable lenses. So if life happens to you, you're good. Now, with that crisis averted, it was time to end the day in the best possible way with some good wine, delicious food, and amazing company.
Hey guys, thank you all for being here, and like, it's weird that my birthday fell on the first day of this. But I'm gonna have a freaking awesome week, so thank you for all being here.
And this is our Gelosa with Syrah and Merlot.
I gotta give this camera credit. From action shooting to lifestyle to even night shooting, the X5 really holds it down. There's the best tool for every moment. Sometimes you want an action camera, sometimes you want a sharp vlog camera, and sometimes you don't know what's coming next, which is why I have to give it to the 360 form factor. It has to be the most versatile, and even though I had all 3 cameras throughout this trip, the one that I was naturally finding myself relying on was the Swiss Army knife, the X5. But there's another comparison that needs to be made, because if you're gonna grab yourself an Insta360, you have to ask, which one is best for you? Is it the flagship X5, or is it the brand new and cheaper X4 Air? Luckily, we've still got 4 more days across Malta to test these cameras.
Good morning, Christian. How are you
Good
doing?
morning, how are you, man? We got the Dream Beach Cruiser. Let's go. This is the proper Malta lifestyle. I'm in the back. Josh, where are the seatbelts?
Thing is, the seatbelts in here were ripped off in 1992 and they've never been put back on. It's legally okay to not have seatbelts in a vintage car like this.
Okay.
It's vintage.
Woo! She sounds good. Mark, would you tell me a little tip for the viewers at home? Anything inspiring?
Stand right there,
Yeah.
and then I'll just like kick a bit,
Yeah.
and then we'll see what happens.
This is one of my favorite things to do. In the 30s, I learned a new skill. It was riding horses. And when you find the right horse, it's just the most beautiful connection. But when you get the wrong horse, well, it just makes things more interesting. So let's see how today's horses are gonna act. I got a little chest mount here. Now in terms of Insta360 cameras, I'd say the X5 is not the best for POV purposes. This is where we're gonna throw a point on the scoreboard for any true action camera. But the best of the best for POV is going to be the Go Ultra, which is quite literally made for this. While we haven't really talked much about this camera, if POV is your thing, I've got an entire video about the Go Ultra and I'll link it down below. Most people are gonna have to pick one action camera. If you want POV, this is probably the move.
Yeah! How many horsepower is that?
Malta is beautiful, but a lot of her beauty is hidden. So we took a kayak to find a secret opening inside this cliff.
The Insta360 X5 is, after all, an action camera. And one of the really cool things is you can shoot this in slow motion. So you are now filming in 5.7K, 60 frames per second, which means I can get up to half speed. And Mark is about to jump from up there.
But the hidden beauty isn't just the lagoon, it's what's underneath it. The next day, we crossed from mainland Malta to an island 30 minutes off the coast.
Not all cities are built like New York. You don't have 100 subjects, 100 things going on. Some are sleepy, like this little town off the coast of mainland Malta. And my goal is to use the X4 Air here to try and capture this sleepy pastel town in a really creative way. Now another fun creative angle. We can start low by the feet, a little bit of a walking shot, move our way up, and rotate around. So I'm seeing another opportunity here. As we're walking, I want to show you a really cool shot that is so unbelievably hard to do with almost any other camera, but is so easy to do with the Insta360. I'm gonna change you over into time-lapse mode and check this out.
This is called a hyperlapse, and it used to be so hard to do.
I got another shot to show you here. So, big, open, European-style courtyard with this beautiful cathedral behind me. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk a straight line, but because most people are down on this level, we can actually get you up nice and high up and get that drone with no drone style of shot. And because it's a 360 camera, in post-production, I can do so many different things with it. But what I have in mind for this shot is a little bit of a tilt-up motion as I get closer to cathedral, hopefully getting a little bit of that sun flare right as the sun goes behind the church.
We've spent a lot of this video talking about different cameras and in particular the hardware, but one of the best things about Insta360 is not what's here, it's actually what's happening inside here. The Insta360 Studio app is phenomenal for editing. I mean, you've got AI powered editing so you can let the software do the work. You've got all sorts of amazing tools to get more out of your 360 footage, and it just makes the experience super intuitive. And the software actually works on your phone. So if you're on your computer or you're on the go, it doesn't matter. You can edit the software and even have the software edit for you. Just under a year ago, Insta360 released the X5. For the first time, it was no longer just a cool look. It was actually a useful paintbrush for your stories. And the X5 marked a pretty special moment because no longer were 360 cameras a novelty. This was now a true paintbrush to tell your stories and to level up your productions. The resolution was sharp, the image was beautiful, and most of all, the shot options were endless. And I'm excited to let you know that there's actually a brand new answer to this camera for people that are looking for something more affordable, more lightweight, and more compact. Well, a little bit more compact. This is the X4 Air, and don't be confused by the X4 name. This more affordable camera is actually very comparable to the X5 in many ways. In just an hour from right now, we've got some boats set up to take us into some caves just over there, and we'll see how the new X4 Air compares to the X5.
Oh no, get me. No, no. Oh no, that's it. I'm a mule now.
I told the people, I'm like, you don't want to be near me. If you get near me, you're gonna end up holding my stuff. I got too much gear with me.
Oh my gosh, look at all these things. I already got one myself. Now I got a white one. I got a black one. Oh, this is the white X4 Air?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never even seen that before. That's awesome.
I know. Look at that.
I'm gonna make it dirty for you. Hold on.
Where are we going?
Into a grotto. But I'm not actually exactly sure where, but if you see the water clarity, it's insane.
That is
perfect. It's perfect.
It's a 10 out of 10. So now seems like a suitable time to drop Malta facts. Can you give me a little bit of history on Malta?
Actually, I can.
Really?
Yeah, the Arabs came, Sultan Mahmed II.
Can I have my cameras back? That's enough. A couple familiar faces. What's up, guys? How are we?
Good.
The family is growing?
Yes, we've doubled.
What I love about the Insta360 and a pull is that when you're surrounded by people that don't know how to use cameras, you're able to get your own shots, which is phenomenal in my situation. You would not want to trust these people with a camera. So one of the best parts of Malta is not what you're gonna see on the land. You gotta get off to the coastline and get into one of these little dinghies. Right now we're going in and out of the caves, and there's just these little patches where the sun hits the water and it turns into the most fluorescent blue. You can imagine just going for a little free dive here. It's absolutely perfection.
The battery inside this camera goes a long way, but what's powerful about it is that you can actually fully recharge it in 35 minutes. Like, there's fast charging built into this, and even the competitors sometimes take upwards to like 3 hours to get a full charge. Whatever you need to shoot, you should be able to pull it off with the battery, and if not, you can charge it pretty quick.
So it's naturally gonna be a question people are asking, X4 Air or X5? And I think the answer is depending on a few things. Right now, in bright light conditions, honestly, they both look absolutely amazing. But we're about to enter into a slightly different condition, and you might see where some pull ahead. Here you're getting a little bit more of a low light side-by-side comparison. Now we're really pushing low light. This is standard mode, but the X5 has another mode in its pocket. Let me show you. In pure video is where this one really pulls ahead. Now we're in pure video mode, and this thing becomes a low light monster that make a pretty big difference. As a content creator today, it can be a little overwhelming knowing what tool is the right tool for the job. And the truth is, there's no perfect camera, because what's right depends on what your goals are. If I want to establish this beautiful landscape and show a nice wide shot, then sometimes this 360 camera gets a little bit too wide. And my mirrorless camera just has more detail and looks more natural to the human eye. When I want to get some of the action and I want to really dramatize a moment, that's where the 360 and the extreme wide angles from the X4 Air or the X5 really pull together the action and bring you into the moment. I can't imagine going without either one of these tools. They both have a place in my bag because they both have different use cases. Now, while there's no real way that in a nice landscape establishing shot, an Insta360 is going to beat a mirrorless camera, what I will say is you can still get the most out of any tool. And if you're using the X5 or the X4 Air, all you gotta do is turn on to single lens shooting, turn off the 360, and now it's gonna act way more like an action camera. And you can actually change the field of view. And right here, I have set it to linear. And now I'm gonna give you a side-by-side of what I see here on my Canon R5 versus what I just got here with the X4 Air. The R5 is built for one thing, getting that crystal clear shot. The X4 Air is built for 360, but with the right settings, you can get this result to actually be pretty reasonably close.
The X4 Air has a few benefits to it. First of all, it's 165 grams, making it noticeably lighter.
If you plan to mount this thing to your head or have it in a place where the weight is going to really be felt, dropping down to 165 grams is something you will notice on a long enough period.
It's also $400, which means it's more budget friendly.
But there's a few areas where this thing does not shine quite as bright as this one here. The X4 Air, from my testing, as you saw, has less low light performance. If you anticipate doing a lot of low light photography and videography, then the X5 is going to be your winner. If you're mostly shooting in the daylight, the X4 Air image quality really stands the test and does an amazing job. One has all the bells and whistles, and one is a bit lighter and quite a bit cheaper. If you want to save money, you got a new option. If you definitely are shooting in low light conditions and want the best of the best, I'm gonna point you to the X5, but I'll leave it in your hands.
But that doesn't stop this thing from being an amazing underwater camera. And I've got just the perfect place to show you what it can do.
All right, blue hole here in Malta. Let's go.
Luckily for this trip, I have a stunt double. But if you're big on cliff sends, the Insta360 camera has got to be the perfect wingman. Where were we? Oh, right. Now this is the Maltan experience. Out on this picture-perfect coastline, swimming through canyons and into these little caves with the world-renowned free diver, Jesper, He was so kind. He was showing us around this little home of his and this very, very special place. And we got to experience it in the best way possible today. And there was this really incredible moment too when sun was setting and there was all these lights refracting from the sunlight in the water. Nature put on a real show for us tonight. I definitely have a little bit more inspiration to keep working on my freediving. There was one cave that I just didn't muster the courage to go into today. It was a little bit too much. And I take that as a little bit of a kick in the butt to keep practicing and hopefully come back one day soon to complete that mental challenge. We gotta get back on the ferry to get back to Malta, the mainland at least. After a few epic days in Malta, I'm ready to share my thoughts on which action cam form factor might be best for you. This is easily one of the most unique and out there form factors of any micro camera on the market. It's definitely got a nice look to the image. It's the most comparable to a DSLR camera, but it definitely doesn't win the name action camera. I don't even know if they market it with that name. The gimbal is great, but I get the notification that the gimbal has reached its maximum anytime I use aggressive movements, so it doesn't seem like it's really meant for action, nor would I trust it to handle a lot of excessive drops, bumps, and even placing it in my pocket every day, taking it in and out. I get nervous every time I pick this thing up and put it away. For vlogging, this is what you get. Fully extended arm. It gets you just wide enough to have a bit more of the background, a nice amount of view in the frame, and it keeps lines pretty straight on the horizon. You don't get a lot of the bowing or the warping that you would get from a wide angle lens. And as long as you're very actively engaged with the camera, making sure that you stay in the frame, you're gonna get a pretty great image. If you're vlogging coffee shops, your daily life, it's definitely got a nice look to the image. Now, the GoPro, or the true action camera format, because you can find this exact same form factor now from DJI, from GoPro, and from the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. These things, they're built tough. If you're gonna be throwing yourself off of a cliff, if you're gonna be taking a mountain bike and sending it down the mountain, I mean, this is what this thing really excels in. It is rough and rugged. And overall, with just one focal length, one way of shooting, you get a pretty good shot. The image quality gets better every single year, and right now, the arms race is tight between all competitors. I would say this form factor is great for you if you know exactly what shot you want. The creativity of this camera is unlocked by its small form factor and its ruggedness. The GoPro does shine if your goal is to capture a lot of action from one direction. But when it comes to storytelling, your ultimate paintbrush is often the one that opens up the most options. And this camera is not my ultimate paintbrush. All right, then you got the form factor that we know as the 360 camera. And in this case, you've got the X5 and you've got its new smaller, cheaper, and also lighter counterpart, the X4 Air. And I guess when it comes down to it, if I have to decide which action camera is always with me in my backpack, is actually this guy here. This form factor, the 360 form factor, has basically managed to eat the lunch of everyone while also providing completely unique perspectives. When I use these 360 cameras, I'm able to have it shoot one lens like an action camera. It's small enough to mount in tons of creative places. It's not as rugged as a GoPro, but with replaceable lenses, I'm able to take bigger chances now than before. And most of all, it allows me to get those heroic video game-like shots where I pull out a selfie pole, erase the pole, and now I'm capturing myself like a fly or a bird looking down on me. I can get the no drone shots in the places I'm not allowed to fly. And if there's a special moment that I can't risk missing the shot, this thing sees everything. And so with 360 footage, you're able to recompose the shot, and one shot can tell 10 different stories. If this feels like the right form factor for your adventures, your travels, or your daily life, then you'll definitely want to get one of these cameras for yourself. And if you check the link down below or in the description, you're gonna find yourself the best pricing. From sales to any potential discounts, they'll all be there in that link. So you can head over to the Insta360 website and get yourself one of these Swiss Army knives of content creation. For me, it is the perfect complementary camera to my primary shooter, my vlog camera. Together, this camera and this camera, I can go on any adventure, any trip, and know that no matter what, I'm gonna get that shot and I'm gonna do it well. Happy shooting, let's get lost again in the next one.